Hi guys, it's your boy Six. Now, I know it's been a while since I uploaded a video, probably about 5 months, but to make a nice and quick comeback, I decided to give you guys a video on the basics of Git. Now, if you don't know what Git is, it's actually a very popular and useful version control system. Let's check it out now. Hi guys, it's your boy Six, and this is Git Basics. I'm just going to be showing you guys how to initialize a GitHub repository and start using Git today. Now, the first thing we're going to want to do is actually come to GitHub and initiate a repository or initialize a repository. So we're going to come to New Repository. Give it a second to load, and we're going to call this repository Git Basics. Now we can do a description, basically saying showing people the basics of Git. Initialize this repository with a README. It's always a good idea. Create repository. Now a repository, and ignore the password warnings, those will probably get changed today. But now what we want to do is actually copy this entire line. So our work on GitHub is done. That's it. That's all the work you've actually got to do with Git. Well, with GitHub, the site itself. Now, if you can see, I have a folder called Git Basics. And what this folder is essentially for is to store our little mini website that we're going to do. So we're going to make a new file called index.html. Index.html is set. Let's open this guy up in Atom. And here goes Atom. So we're going to make just a quick site, and we're just going to do, enlarge this for you guys. HTML, hit tab to autocomplete. Call this one Git Basics. Save that. We're going to do a quick H1. This is Git Basics. We're going to do a button. This button is not going to do what it says. We're just going to make it sound a little fancy. This makes no sense whatsoever, but for the purposes of this exercise, it does. All right, we've saved our file. We're going to open this in Google Chrome. Git Basics. This is our site. This is our basic site that does nothing. Fine. So what if we want to track all the changes? What if we want to actually work on this with a friend? What if we're on a huge dev team? How in the world are we going to track all the changes every time someone moves a file, every time someone does a change, adds a feature? It gets pretty hectic. So we're going to initialize our repository with Git. So we're going to do Git init. Initialize repository. That's great. Now, there are going to be a couple of commands we're going to work with. We're going to do git remote, which is going to set a remote connection to our repository online. We're going to do git add, which adds all our files that we're working on to a staging area. Git commit, which essentially saves all the files that we have in the staging area. And git push, which also pushes these saved and committed files on our local machine to our repository online. And finally, we'll do Git Pull to pull all the changes from the online repository to the one here. So now what we're going to do first is establish a remote connection to GitHub. Now remember that link we copied in the beginning? We're actually going to be using that now. We're going to paste this in here. We're going to go. Remote is set up just like that. Now, if we break this down, it says git remote, which is the git command, add. We're adding something called origin, and this is the link. So every time we say origin, it means the link to our project. So we've added our remote. Now, before we continue any further in this project, I actually just want to sync our files with our repository online, and it's not syncing exactly, but you'll see in a second. So we're going to run Git Pull from not from actually, but origin. So we're going to pull all the changes from our origin remote and the master branch. Git pull origin master, right? So we've pulled everything now. Now we're going to run Git Status to actually see what's in our staging area. So we're going to do Git Status. Right now, untracked files, meaning files that are not in the staging area, index.html. So this one isn't going to commit, it's not going to save, nothing's going to happen to it. So to add it to our staging area, what happens is this: you make your changes, you add your changes to a staging area, you commit those changes to your local machine, basically finalizing them, then you push to your repository online. That's how that works. And if you have a repository online and you want to get all the details, you'll do a fetch command. So right now we're going to add these to our staging area. So we're going to do git add. Now we could either do index.html or we can just do the star for all files. I always like to do all files depending on what I'm doing. Git add all. Enter. Now we're going to do git status again to see what's in our staging area. Git status. We can now see it says new file index.html. That's perfect. Now we're going to do a commit. So we're going to actually finalize these changes. So we're going to do git commit -m adds a commit message, and we'll say this is the initial commit. And now we're going to commit the files. One file change, 11 insertions. Basically there are 11 lines of code, so it inserted 11 lines. That's perfect. Now we've actually committed this file to our local repository. So this is finalized. Now we're ready to push this to GitHub. Now let's push. As we can see, there's actually nothing inside our Git Basics folder, right? Nothing at all. It's just a README file. Cool. So now we're going to do git push remote origin, because, well, git push origin master. Sorry about that. Git push origin is the name of our remote, which is why I got it confused before. So push to the origin online and the master branch. We're going to do that now. We're going to enter our GitHub credentials. And it says compressing objects, all this little magic, and we've actually pushed this from our master here to our master branch online. Now let's refresh this right now and see. We've just added the index.html to this. But what if we made a change? Now we can actually just open this up to actually view our code. Now the one thing is this: what if we wanted to change this index file? Let's call this Git Basics. We'll say this is our second commit on the H1. This is our second commit. We've saved it. Now, before we do anything, let's do git add all to add this to our staging area. Now we'll run git status to view everything. Modified index.html because we've just modified that file. Now that we've done that, we're going to do git commit -m, and we'll say this is our second commit. So we do second commit. We're ready. So now we've actually committed these changes to our local repository. It's finalized. Let's push this online now. So we'll do git push origin master. Push this to the master branch in origin. Now before we do this push, right, we can see the commit here that says this is the initial commit. Now we're going to commit some changes that we've just done, and we'll see the changes in real time. Git push origin master. Enter our GitHub details. And now we've actually just inserted our second commit into GitHub. Now if we open this up, let's do a quick refresh of this page and we'll actually see what goes on behind the scenes. All right, so now let's just check this out really quick to see if our commit actually went. And it does say 3 commits, by the way, but let's do refresh of our page. And what do we have here? We actually see something that says this is our second commit. Now we're going to click on this just to see what actually happened. And let me enlarge this page. It'll tell you that what we did was we removed a part of this H1 that said Git basics, and we actually added this is our second commit. All right, so in a nutshell, this is how we actually add files to our staging area. This is how we commit the files. This is actually create a remote to actually connect to our GitHub project, and this is how we can view our changes across multiple individuals on the same project. All right, it's been your boy Six, and this is Git Basics.